Rajasthani princess, and she loves Mohana, Krishna. But her father, to make peace with the Muslims, because there were atrocious difficulties, actually arranged Jodha to marry into the Muslim rulership. So she became Jodha Akbar. And so this Humayun, at that time, the Muslims were terrifying. And Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, whose beautiful picture is there over our bookshop, they were born in Brahmin families. But because they were so intelligent, they were grabbed by the rulership, which was Islamic Muslim, and they were forced to be ministers in the government. Now, Rupa and Sanatana Goswami, you know, they spoke 8 languages. They were ministers, and one of them was prime minister. Sanatana was prime minister. So they were working under a forced leadership, to the extent that they had to even change their names. They became Dabir Khas and Sakar Malik. Can you imagine that oppression? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in that time, is actually initiating these Pathans. And they're very powerful people, Pathan. You know, even if you say the word Pathan now, you think of big, strong army men. And Mahaprabhu's love, and Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, Radha Krishna, Nahi Anya. So with his potency, these Pathans are actually hearing and listening, and their hearts are changing. And so Pundarika Prabhu just said that with the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the Andolan that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought, he came for 2 reasons, and the second reason was to plunder the potency of bringing the know-how of how to be happy. And that know-how in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra initiated these powerful people living in powerful, oppressive times. But actually their hearts, like anybody's heart, because Srila Prabhupada explains, we'll come back when we come back to our Bhagavad Gita, verse 251, that Krishna is not a sectarian name. Krishna is not a sectarian personality. And one of the reasons how I imagine my husband with his school bags and outside the library and going, boom, what's happened, you know, when he hears this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. He's only a schoolboy then. I mean, I don't know him, I don't know anything at that time, really. And he remembers being like thunderstruck. And today he said something which was really staggering, is that he thinks maybe that's the time he got initiated. Actually, we weren't initiated till 1996. Guru Maharaj didn't think for 9 years that we were qualified to be initiated. So from the time we met him to the time we got initiated was 9 years. And actually at that time we were doctors, we were working with family. And we didn't really know much about Krishna consciousness, hardly anything. And Guru Maharaj said, take your time, learn to chant, and learn gradually. And we increased 1 round at a time. And we went from 1 to 2 to 3. And he said, all you have to do is to go to bed 10 minutes early the night before. If any of you, do all of you, I'm sure you're lovely devotees, you look such lovely smile faces. So that's how we learned to chant. And when we got to 16 rounds steady every day, as well as running a practice with 6,200 patients, and actually we were in Stoke-on-Trent, my husband and I, in 1980. We came to the hospital for 1 month. And we stayed there and we were studying radiology. So at that time we were learning how to look at the body, look at the person's diseases and the body from inside. with X-rays and ultrasounds, and CT scans were just coming in at that time. And today we are coming, and we're not actually looking at the person from inside in that kind of way. And you're all going to teach us how to actually really look at who's in our heart, and how we can clean our hearts, and how we can actually understand what Srila Prabhupada took so much trouble. We heard that he had no money. He hardly had enough money saved, because from selling back to Godhead, he would get some money, but he would be putting that money into paper for next publication. And his monthly rent for that room up there was 5 rupees per month. So 5 rupees per month, but for food, and he would cook for himself. He had this beautiful, like a pressure cooker system, which my mother also had. We used to call it a dabbo. So dabbo કરી લે એટલે ડબ્બામાં નીચે દાળ થઈ જાય, ભાત થઈ જાય, ને ભાતની ઉપર શાક સ્ટીમ થઈ જાય, ને પછી શાક વઘારવાનું. So that's how it's very ready quickly. So I have seen the dabbo, and Srila Prabhupada would cook like that. But you know, he ate only 1 meal a day, and he was walking everywhere. And he would only take the rickshaw when he had the papers. He bought the paper from the paper wala, and from the paper wala he would take the paper to the printer, and the printer would have his manuscript, and then he would check with the printer that the manuscript is properly typed on and there's no mistakes, and then he would get the first copy and he would check that, and then it would go for further printing if everything was okay. And that was and many times he had to suspend the publication because he had no money for paper. How much money do we all have in our pockets these days? We don't live like that, do we? So how can we actually understand? So I'm going to hand over to my husband, because I think I interrupted, and we'll come back to... so you finished from the Lilamrita, Prabhu?
Yes.
Okay. So it's okay if I carry on. So, okay, so Radha Mohan Prabhu said to me initially 250 from Bhagavad Gita, and then he changed it to 251. So I'm sure you all studied 250 already. Is that right? So we'll sing Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So we go to this beautiful book, Bhagavad Gita, text 51. So my husband's just reminding me that we were meant to see that short film before I did the Bhagavad Gita, because it brings a mood of Srila Prabhupada. Did you want to do that?
At the end?
At the end?
It's fine, yes.
Okay, that's fine.
Tell us when the end is. You'll need to signpost us, because we can go on for a long time.
When is the end? 5 o'clock in the evening, or 7 o'clock, or when? Otherwise we'll sleep here in the night and we can all have Krishna Katha. So, you know, when we have festivals, then they go late into the night, and sometimes to Mangala Artik. And then it's time for Mangala Artik. So I don't know if Stoke does the same. So, but yeah, please keep us aware of the time. So text 51. Karma jam buddhi yukta hi.
Karma jam buddhi yukta hi.
Phalam tvaktva manishinaha.
Phalam tyaktva manishinaha.
Janma bandha vinirmukta.
Janma bandha vinirmukta.
Padam gachanti anamayam.
Padam gachanti anamayam.
So, to save time, we just do it once like that. And what we'll do now is to read the word-to-word translation that Srila Prabhupada has done. So, karma jam,
karmajam,
due to fruitive activities.
due to fruitive activities,
Buddhi yukta,
buddhiyuktaha,
being engaged in devotional service.
being engaged in devotional service,
He certainly.
certainly.
Phalam, results.
Phalam, results.
Tvaktva, giving up.
Tva, giving up.
Manishina, great sages or devotees.
Great sages or devotees.
Janma bandha,
Janma bandha,
from the bondage of birth and death.
from the bondage of birth and death.
Vinirmukta,
Vinir muktaha,
liberated.
liberated.
Padam,
Padam,
position.
position.
Gachanti,
Gachanti,
they seek.
they seek.
Anamayam,
Anamayam,
without misery.
without miseries.
So the translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. By thus engaging in devotional service to the Lord, great sages or devotees free themselves from the results of work in the material world. In this way, they become free from the cycle of birth and death and attain the state beyond all miseries by going back to Godhead. Please repeat after me. By thus engaging
By thus engaging
in devotional service
in devotional service
to the Lord,
to the Lord,
great sages
great sages
or devotees
or devotees
free themselves
free themselves
from the results of work
from the results of work
in the material world.
in the material world.
In this way,
In this way,
they become free
they become free
from the cycle of birth and death
from the cycle of birth and death
and attain
and attain
the state
the state
beyond all miseries
beyond all miseries
by going back to Godhead.
by going back to Godhead.
So what we will do now is to read the purport from, I'm going to skip the first main paragraph from Srimad Bhagavatam and go straight on to Srila Prabhupada writing, owing to ignorance, there we are. Owing to ignorance, one does not know that this material world is a miserable place where there are dangers at every step. Everybody recognize that? Do we have, okay, so out of ignorance only, less intelligent persons try to adjust to the situation by fruitive activities, thinking that the resultant actions will make them happy. They do not know that no kind of material body anywhere within the universe can give life without miseries. The miseries of life, namely birth, death, old age, and diseases, are present everywhere within the material world. But one who understands his real constitutional position as the eternal servitor of the Lord, and thus knows the position of the personality of Godhead, engages himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Consequently, he becomes qualified to enter into the Vaikuntha planets, where there is neither material miserable life nor the influence of time and death. To know one's constitutional position means to know also the sublime position of the Lord. One who wrongly thinks that the living entity's position and the Lord's position are on the same level is to be understood to be in darkness, and therefore unable to engage himself or herself in the devotional service of the Lord. He becomes the Lord himself and thus paves the way for the repetition of birth and death. But one who, understanding that his position is to serve, transfers himself to the service of the Lord, at once becomes eligible for Vaikuntha Lok. Service for the cause of the Lord is called Karma Yoga or Buddhi Yoga, or in plain words, devotional service to the Lord. Yes. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu-padaya Krishna-prestaya Bhutale Srimate, and you can say your Guru Maharaj, I'm going to say Srimate Srila Shivaram Swami Iti Namine. And then Nama Om Vishnu-padaya Krishna-prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So thank you very much to Radha Mohan Prabhu and his beautiful family to invite us to this Stoke ISKCON, beautiful little hall and nice small group. Pundarika Prabhu and I used to love our small group teaching. We were also lecturers at the medical school at Nottingham University, where we also trained as students. We have many professors there and wonderful teachers. But they never talked about the soul. But from lectures, we preferred small groups, because in small groups, we learned more from the students than we could actually teach them. So I want to know from you all, because you've done 249, 50, and 50, and now we are 51, what you learned and what the best thing you liked from 250 and 249. And I'll tell you why 249, 251. Because Srila Prabhupada, when he first lectured on these verses, when he came to the West, that was in April, not in September. So he came 60 years back in September to the western shores, got off that boat, Jaladut, and when he lectured these verses, it was April in New York. So he took these verses together, 49, 50, and 51. And today we are going to look at 51, we just read. So what did we learn from 49 and 51? Anybody, and you can all have a go. What was the question in your minds? What was the challenge? What was the thing you liked best? Or what did you not understand? If you're brave enough to say. Because when I was reading to come here, there were so many things I didn't understand. So let's see, who's Balaram? I'm going to put you on the spot. What was did you listen, were you there when these verses were being done? For one of them, which one? Okay, go for it. Share with us something.
In the first quote, something small. So, in the verse, it includes the word Buddhi Yoga.
Mm-hmm.
And the translation Prabhupada talks about it, he mentions it in English as devotional service, Bhakti. But another translation of Buddhi is intelligence. So I find it quite interesting that Prabhupada was saying that the only intelligent yoga is Bhakti. So if you're intelligent, then you go for Bhakti, nothing else. That's the real intelligence. So I thought that was quite interesting.
Sure, that's beautiful. Did anyone else pick that point up? Who else was there for 249, 250? Prabhuji? Do you want to go first? You can tell us who else was there and who wasn't. This is not really any critical thing. We're just going to share, okay? We're just warming up.
I gave the class on 50 cents.
Good. So I'm...
About how the no matter it's a pious or impious activity, you have to come back to either suffer or so-called enjoy your karma if it is pious activity. But with those, the problem is that even if it is pious activity, with the next birth comes the old age, disease and death, free of charge. So no matter how pious you are in this world, you will always be miserable. So if you are really intelligent, then you have to do akarma rather than karma or vikarma. And then with that akarma, it burns away both your good deeds as well as bad deeds, the reaction to the good deeds and bad deeds. And that's how you come back to Godhead. Generally, mostly the people, they are after the good karma, do good, be good. But that doesn't relieve you from the basic miseries of life, which is birth, old age, disease and death. That's what we spoke last
Okay, thank you. So Mataji, what did you think about that, doing good karma and pious activities? आपको कुछ कहना है? हम हिंदी बोलते हैं आप या क्या गुजराती या no English? Thank you so much, because we've got elderly people also, the father figure here. Do you want to say something, Prabhuji? No? Okay, he's listening. Who else? What about the ladies, young ones? Were you all here for 250, 4950? How many of you didn't have missed 4950 then? Many people missed it. Okay, okay. You were there probably for 4950? Okay. Did you have any questions? Did you have any points you could share with us? Okay, okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, thank you so much for sharing. And I didn't have to ask you, so it was really appreciated. That's wonderful. Anyone else wants to say anything or share what they're thinking about?
Now I have a thing like, so this karma, whatever we are doing good and bad things, right? So the end, if we already start doing the good karmas, whatever the Bhagavad Gita taught us, like the things, but when it gets to be balanced, or we have to be just follow the things, and it will be go. Because Prabhuji tell us last class that when Dhritarashtra and the lady asked to the Krishna that what we did wrong, that hundreds of sons like died. Okay, so what we did bad karma. So they said 100 years back, when they are hunter, they killed 100 of bird together. So this is the right time to get the things back. But the thing is, so my question is like so how we will get to know that those people get to the Godhead or not yet? Like, or still, means my question is how this cycle will be finished.
Okay, that's a brilliant thought and a really good question. So, Srila Prabhupada, okay, anyone else want to share what they're thinking about or what their puzzle is, or shall I move the class? Yeah? Okay, Okay, so that's a very, very beautiful question. And basically what we're getting is that when we do karma, karma means action. So we're sitting, Mataji is sitting on a chair, I'm sitting on a chair, and the chair is pushing on the ground. But we're not going down, 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 are we? Because there's an equal and opposite reaction from Mother Earth up through this carpet to balance. And we are set. Same, Mataji is sitting on the floor, but she's not going down, down, down. So there's an equal and opposite reaction. So every action will have a reaction. Now, Srila Prabhupada has come after such a difficult preparation in India to the West, not just to leave us all puzzled. So let's look at what he said in his class in New York on April 5th, 1966. And he spoke quite a long time. He had much more than an hour that we have, and I hardly have any of his ability and knowledge. But through our prayers, Srila Prabhupada is definitely blessing us, because he wants us to understand. He wants us to study his books. He wants us to distribute his books. If we don't go distributing books, we can give any spare money we have, so the book distributors can distribute this book, because this knowledge is what is going to not only make us happy here, but it opens the door for us not to get into the same situation like Dhritarashtra 100 years later, only to have 100 blind sons. What is the point of that? There's no point. So Krishna comes, and he came at that time. And he came and he said to Arjuna, you're going to have to fight this. And Arjuna didn't want to fight, because he thought he needed to be good and not kill his cousins and teachers who had taught him how to fight. That's good, isn't it? But it wasn't good. He had to kill them. That was good. Why was it good? Was it good karma? It wasn't good karma. But why? Because it went from good to... Yeah, it went from good to transcendental. What does transcendental mean? It's beyond. It's beyond good and bad. It's beyond karma. His karma was bad. But Krishna's Guru Maharaj said to us, he said, we're not interested in karma.
He said we have no business with karma.
His Guru Maharaj told us at one particular time in our lifetime, he said, we have no business with karma. So, that's why Prabhuji is explaining that don't worry about doing pious activities and good activities. Don't do bad activities, but actually go beyond the good activities to understand. And this is, I'm going to go back to Srila Prabhupada's class straight away, because he is so kind, he's so magnanimous, and he's just arrived after a really difficult oceanic journey in a tiny boat. He's had 3 heart attacks. And after 2 nights of that severe pain, can you imagine? The boat's tossing up and down, you're feeling sick. He's holding his arm because chest pain is radiated to your left arm, because the nerves of the heart are shared with the left arm. And he's just cringing, and he's looking out of the boat, and he's thinking, if this happens the 3rd night, I will die. But the 3rd night, it didn't happen. And he had a vision of Krishna coming and taking care of this boat. So this is the devotion of Srila Prabhupada, but it wasn't just what he felt, because before all that, he had studied all the works of our acharyas. He had been writing the magazine for years and years, trying to publish it, and nobody would give him enough money to make it really published. He wanted to publish 10,000 copies to send to England. And he was hardly distributing a few hundred personally. Pundarika Prabhupada and I were very fortunate because 2 years ago we were in Delhi at this temple, which the lady who was a physician, a doctor herself, gave Prabhupada the top room where he could stay for when he came to buy the paper and go to the printer and get his publications done. And that's the beautiful temple now of Sri Sri Radha Vallabhji. Very, very beautiful. So you must go there to Delhi if you go sometime. Near there is the place where the bull attacked Srila Prabhupada and with his horn pierced his side, and Srila Prabhupada was thrown off in the gutter and he couldn't get up. And then somebody came and saw him there and picked him up in his car. And that was a man who used to like reading Prabhupada's Back to Godhead. So he took him to the hospital and got him treated. But what Srila Prabhupada is saying in New York, he is saying that now Lord Krishna is just trying to place Arjun on the platform of working on pure consciousness. There's your question. He is saying, Prabhupada is saying that Krishna is trying to place Arjuna on the platform of pure consciousness, not karma consciousness, not good and bad consciousness, but pure consciousness. In these 3 verses. Okay, so these verses are real gems, if we can understand them. And to understand those, we could actually sit together for a month, morning and night, and we would still be talking about the same 3 verses, because the Sanskrit words are so beautiful and their translation is very deep, and for us to understand that translation would take time. So we're just skimming through, and we don't want to do any justice, we just want to plant this love that Srila Prabhupada had for his study, his writing, his publishing, and the deep prayer and contemplation he went into to relate to his spiritual master. And he brought it all to the West 60 years ago this month to share with us. So how much attention are we going to pay to it? Because it's going to tell us how to get to this consciousness where that answer is in our life, how we live. So he's saying that Srila Prabhupada's been discussed for many days. We are not this dull body. We are consciousness. Somehow we are in contact with matter, and therefore our freedom is checked. Whether you do good karma or bad karma, you're still going to be in this body. And at the end of the day, you may or may not get some disease, and we saw plenty of patients with disease. Even if I don't have a disease, my hearing is going, my eyes are getting weaker. That's a disease. We don't like that. Why should we have it? So if we don't want it, we don't want a material body next time. So how are we going to do that? Okay, how many people outside are asking that question? But we are fortunate, we are here, we are asking that question. So Prabhupada is saying that a spiritual being is free to act. He's pure. That spiritual being doesn't have disease, doesn't have birth, doesn't have death, and does not have old age. And in spiritual life, we have many qualifications, he says. And by understanding, and today Prabhupada is saying to the devotees gathered like us here, that we have opportunity, because in our next life, according to how we live now, we can change things. It's up to us. So he's saying that the spiritual life, once begun, we don't have to worry, because we've all begun our spiritual life. We are not outside, we are here. So we don't have to worry. Even if we are born next time in bodies, we will actually get birth in a better situation where we can still continue this journey of inquiry. But Srila Prabhupada said it's best in this life to go back home to Godhead. So let's listen to do our best. So he's saying that spiritual life once begun assures the next life as human being. Surinam Shri Mayan Gehe. So Krishna is describing this yoga system. We talked about karma yoga, and then dhyan, we are concentrating and contemplating when we chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Then we are concentrating our attention on the holy sound, on the syllables. Because these are the syllables which even change the hearts of those Pathans, what to speak of our hearts. So our hearts may or may not be better or worse than theirs. I'm not comparing. But the holy name is powerful. Now, I'm reading from my phone, but that's just my notes from this book, which is collected lectures on Bhagavad Gita as it is. So when Srila Prabhupada was giving all these lectures, as soon as he arrived 60 years ago, the people, his listeners, all like you, they would write them down and they would record. They had recorders, so they would be recorded. And then after the class, they would be transcribed. Somebody would transcribe. And then they would be published as books or as recordings. And this is word to word what Srila Prabhupada spoke. And when Guru Maharaj, our spiritual master, told us to run a Namahata in Nottingham, we said, we don't know anything. Well, how can we run a weekly program? He said, well, read the books and then repeat what the books say. So each week, Pundarika Prabhu and I would do our homework from his books. And so Srila Prabhupada spoke these things and we just repeated them. And today we are here now. That was in, from mid-80s. So here we are. So we can see how kind and merciful Srila Prabhupada is. And so my summary is actually from these notes. I didn't want you to think I kind of made it up from somewhere. So what Srila Prabhupada, because everything in Krishna consciousness is authorized. We are scientists, so we had to do what our medical books say and what our professors taught. It wasn't we could try and give you this and give you that and that the other. You have to have qualifications. So our qualification is that we should really study Srila Prabhupada's books and understand them for ourselves. Because to get on that pure consciousness level, the transcendental platform, is an individual journey. No one else can do it for us. Srila Prabhupada says we fly our own if you're in trouble in the aeroplane, could anyone help those 300 people in that air crash? Nobody could help from outside. So we have to fly in our own aeroplane. And so Srila Prabhupada wants us to be informed, not misinformed, not under-informed, not wrongly informed, but purely informed. Pure Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is pure. But we have issues with our senses, with our mind, with intelligence. So Arjuna asked the same question to Krishna, what is the problem? And what did Krishna say? Krishna said there are 3 gates to hell. What are they? Who's going to say? They are everyday problems. Lust, anger, greed. So those are the 3 gates to hell. So those are the problems. Okay, so action is not a problem because most of us are here, are doing everything that we should be doing. But how to do that is the intelligence and is the buddhi yoga. Srila Prabhupada came to teach devotional service. So now we are just sitting on a chair. Is that devotional service? Or sitting on the floor? Is that devotional service? She's saying no. Why is it not devotional service?
She's not listening.
She is. She's listening very well. Why is it not devotional service? Let us read. You're not serving Krishna. Not doing anything actively.
What was Srila Bhakti Siddhanta's comment regarding Srila Prabhupada on his second meeting? Srila Prabhupada met him in Calcutta. He said he likes to listen.
Shravana kirtana smarana vandana pada sevana dasyare.
Listening is a service.
Shravanam is devotional
Srila
service.
Bhakti Siddhanta singled out Srila Prabhupada because of his ability to listen. Okay.
So yeah, thank you. That's really wonderful because Prabhupada was a young university student when his spiritual master to-be said so. That's a beautiful question because you're so humble, you want to do spiritual service. But spiritual service key is 9 processes. And they're very beautifully sung in this bhajan by Govinda Das. And I always remember that because I used to sing this to our son whose name is Govinda. So Shravana, have you heard it? Do you all sing bhajans in this? I'm sure you sing bhajans at Stoke-on-Trent, isn't it? So this bhajan, Shravana Kirtana Smarana Vandana Pada Sevana Dasyare Pujana Sakhijana Atmani Vedana. So Atmani Vedana is the 9th process. Atma means what? Soul. Soul. So when we surrender our soul, that's the 9th and the most taxing surrender to the Lord. But we are giving our ears. That's your devotional service. You're giving your ears to us speaking. You are serving us by giving your ears.
Famous Shakespeare quote, "Lend me your ears." Yeah, you remember that? There you are. The ears are important.
Ears are very important.
You know the best marriage advice? You've got 2 of these and 1 of these. Yeah?
So when I talk,
That's what they told me.
he
Anyway.
closes his ears. Yeah.
Jaldi.
Jaldi. How much more time have we got?
That's fundamental.
10 minutes. My husband's fed up of listening to my talk.
No, I'm going to, my job is to weave it together. So she has to give me enough time to weave it together. Come on, carry on.
Okay, so this is just Srila Prabhupada's initial few minutes of talking. So we can see how deep it is, because bhakti or devotional service is as deep as the ocean. Have you ever stood at the edge of the ocean? What is the deepest point of the ocean called?
Something trench.
Did you say course? Marijuana Trench. It's so deep. It's so deep. It's so deep. So Srila Prabhupada's brought this depth of know-how. You know, like you buy a new television or something, you get a manual with it, a new washing machine or a fridge. A manual comes and tells you what part goes where, and if something goes wrong, what to do. So this manual, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and many other books of the Acharyas, they are telling us the rest, for Mataji's, the recipe of how to get out of this vicious cycle of repeated birth, disease, old age, death, birth, disease, old age, death, good, karma, bad, karma, come and get your good results, come and get your bad results, come and get more good results, pack in a few bad results, because even if you don't want bad results, it will come, bad will come. You don't go looking for bad. Do you go looking for good? But good will come anyway. What is coming to you as good, at the end of the season, the apple trees are bearing the fruit. You didn't say to the apple tree, make the apples. The apples are there. You didn't go looking for the apples. So the good is going to come anyway. But the bad will also come. So we have to be prepared with this knowledge. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that yoga means spiritual connection, and even if we think that what we are doing is actually turning out difficult, we are not going to be losers. So those of us who are here and are beginning to engage in the process of bhakti yoga, in the process of devotional service, using our brains and intelligence for finding answers to these difficult questions, then we are not going to be losers. Why? Because Krishna is watching. One step towards him and he will take 100 towards you. Okay? So that's the principle. It's the mercy of the Lord. Why did Pundarika Prabhu have these people come? And, there were 4 monks, the shaved head, saffron clothes, banging the drum. One was in a black body, one was in a white body. 3 white bodies, one in a black body. And he's totally shocked what's going on. And years later, he remembers it. He didn't go looking for that. Didn't go looking for good. So, mercy comes. Srila Prabhupada has come. We didn't go. None of you went to say to Srila Prabhupada, come to the West, bring your books. Did we? I didn't do that. But we are here. He's given his mercy. So we are not going to sleep on it. We're going to wake up. Jiva jago, gora chanda bole, kota nidra. So we have to wake up from the sleep of all this, what we don't know. And that's legitimate. We don't know loads of things. That's fine. But we want to know. Okay? So, and we want to be engaged. So Prabhupada is saying that this Vedic wisdom, understanding Krishna, is very special. And that's not Hindu or Muslim or Christian or Jewish or atheist or non-atheist. Krishna is Krishna. None of these things come in the way. So he's saying what we need to know. Prabhupada, I've had such a hard time so many times as a doctor. I'd be struggling to chant my rounds, to go to the surgery, to cook the meals, 3 boys, 1 husband who's a doctor, who's always everybody wants. And what did I do? And then we had Friday classes. Every Friday would come around quickly. We had to prepare for the class, prepare a pot of rice or sabji to take, collect the kids from school. I would go mad. But I always would come and pay my obeisances to Srila Prabhupada's murti in our house. And I would say, just Srila Prabhupada, I just remember 2 things. And he says this in his lectures. He's saying, we must know what is matter and what is spirit. And we must know that we are not this body. So I would say I'm exhausted, but I'm not this body. I'm mental, but I'm not this mind. So these few things help us a lot. So Prabhupada is saying that, he's saying to Arjuna that you have, what's the matter with you? What's the spirit here? So then, our body means our senses. So we sense discomfort, we sense some argument, we sense some difficulty. But those are our senses, our antennae picking up, our radar picking up. But those senses actually could be giving us good information, or they could be tripping us off. Okay, there's a lot of fake news now. So we've got to make sense using our intelligence. But above the intelligence sits the soul. Atma. So that Atma we forget about because we're not thinking about spirit. We're always thinking, what's the matter, what's the matter, what's the matter? But Prabhupada says, no, we got to think about the spirit. So always think of the difference between matter and spirit. And when I was really distressed, I was thinking, gosh, and I had so many issues because I was a young girl, I came from an Indian background, born in Africa, into England, having to study medicine. It's really hard. And you think, I don't belong here. But you do think like that because Prabhupada says we are like fish out of water. Dhritarashtra was like fish out of water, but he was thinking, I can make all the plans. I can make the plans and my children will get the kingdom and they will be the kings, not my brother's children. So he's trying to sort life out for himself. And he has this big skin itching disease and they have to kill all the swans and use the fat to rub in his itchy skin. So he's trying to sort his own problems out. But actually Arjuna has got so many problems. And he's saying, Krishna, I feel so awful and my bow is slipping down, I can't do anything. And why is he thinking like that? Because he's so kind, he's pure-hearted, he's compassionate. He's thinking, I can't kill my gurus, I can't kill those cousins. Because he's so kind, he's soft-hearted. Yeah? So this is intelligence. So here Prabhupada is saying, always make a difference with two things. I'm going to finish the class because I'm never going to reach all the things I did. And I really thank you all because it put me in an ocean of study since Radha Mohan Prabhu said, we'll give class. So I went on to these 3 verses and Prabhupada's original books, Bhagavad Gita as well as this. Because what he's saying in Bhagavad Gita is it is very different, exactly the same, but in a different way to what he told those students and those new people as he first arrived. Because he didn't know anybody. He came to the Agarwal's house. He had to sleep on the sofa. And Mrs. Agarwal had 2 little children. And they were so scared in the morning. This old man sleeping on the settee, he had all these robes.
In the film.
Oh, is it? Okay, so I mustn't tell you. Okay.
Well,
sorry.
you need to give time for the film.
Okay, so basically, what we are saying here is, and you know what? 51, karma jam buddhi yuktahi. So karma jam means you to fruit. Karma is a jam. Have you ever made jam, anybody? We make lots of jam. And it's so sticky, and it doesn't set the setting point, and you have to do this, the tran tar thava joye, pachi it will set. So karma jam is whenever you do karma, good karma or bad karma, it will just become a jam. It will entangle you. You'll never be able to get out of the stickiness. So he's saying buddhi yuktahi. So he's saying being engaged, get out of this jam and become engaged in devotional service. But like Balaram said, it's not easy to straight away understand it because we don't know, is buddhi intelligence or is buddhi yoga the same as bhakti yoga or what's going on here? It takes time. And I'm just beginning to understand it now because we are retired. Guru Maharaj said, give up and study the books. So now, but that's not easy to do, to give up your work and to give up all your occupation and to give up being somebody who makes people feel better. It's not easy to do, but we did it, and we are here today, so we are reading the books. So you all must read the books, and what he's saying is that by engaging in devotional service, but what is devotional service? Mataji is maybe, what do you do at home, Mataji? Because you asked such a nice question. What's your name? Shreya. What? Oh, no, I'll come to you in a minute, but yeah. What do you do? You're staff nurse in this. Do you think that's devotional service? Yeah, it is. And are you attached to what you do? So do you do your best? And who do you do it the best for? Who are you doing it for? For the patient to get better. Okay. And what happens if the patient gets better? Who do you then offer that fruit to? And what do you do if the patient dies? Because some of your patients die, right? Well, even though you've done your best, they still die. So what do you do then? You did bad karma? No. You did your best. And you did it because you are doing it for the Lord. Because what's inside that patient's body? His soul. And is the soul alone? No, but who's with the soul? Who's God? Is Krishna in his heart?
I think you have to stop now.
Okay, so I have to stop now. So devotional service means we remember Krishna. We remember Krishna.
I want to just finish. That is the summum bonum of these 3 verses. These 3 verses are about Nishkam Karma Yoga. That's the summary. Because the purpose of these verses is to realize I am spirit soul, to recognize Atma, because when I recognize Atma, then I can understand Paramatma. And Paramatma is the gateway to Vaikuntha, which is what's mentioned in the translation and the purport. So this is the purpose of these verses, and that's why Krishna introduces it and says, "Oh, Dhananjaya." What does Dhananjaya mean?
What is dhan?
Suche Dhananjaya.
Dhan, what is dhan? Money.
Wealth.
Wealth.
Oh, winner of wealth.
He's going to
Dhananjaya.
business school.
So
Money.
when Krishna says, "Oh, Dhananjaya," and he speaks these verses, he's telling us this is really wealthy. What you're going to hear now, this is really valuable. This is Nishkam Karma Yoga. This is how to not act wanting a good or bad result. And you can only do that if you recognize that your spirit soul and Krishna is with you. And ultimately, as Krishna tells you in the 18th chapter, he sanctions everything. So we should now listen to Srila Prabhupada's film. If we still have time, do we still have time for the film? That was the conclusion. Mataji concluded with a beautiful recognition of the purpose of these 3 verses. And you can only use your intelligence, back to Balaram Prabhu's point, because intelligence is understanding that I'm spirit soul. Yeah, that's intelligence. And then when you engage that in yoga, then it's vinaya mukta. Yeah, that you come out of the darkness. And when you read, Balaram Prabhu should do the next week's verse, because the next verse tells you when you've given up delusion and you're in the light again. Yeah, so that's what vinaya mukta means. It means that you're being given mukti. Mukti means to have got rid of the darkness, to be in the light. And you can go on to nectar of devotion, various kinds of mukti. We used to get lots of questions on mukti and moksha when we were giving classes in Leicester, so many times. We have no business with, because we're operating transcendently. That's why my Guru Maharaj said, we have no business with karma. Yeah? And that's what you were giving class on, because you said, we don't want to know about vikarma, we don't want to know about karma, we want to do things without karmic results. That's devotional service. And that's what Lord Chaitanya says in the Madhya 24. He says that you can't gain liberation without devotional service. There's no liberation without devotional service. So this is his point. Yeah.
So the best way to make everything into devotional service is, if you're stuck, there's any difficulty, chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Because Krishna comes immediately in that mantra. In any difficulty you have, you brought him. So then through him, the way is going to open to looking at different possibilities. It's very quickly available. Very quick. In Srila Prabhupada's mercy, he brought that. And he brought it out of India. You know, only the big Brahmins used to have this mantra. It wasn't available for everyone. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu plundered that store and he spilt it everywhere. So we are very fortunate, very fortunate. And this is the film. Oh, lights off? Okay, so we could put the lights off, yeah.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada.
He was a risk taker, dramatically so. In terms of leaving India with no money, coming here without any contacts or influence. There were times when the circumstances around his life absolutely dictated that this should end here. Okay, you tried. I guess love conquers all, I guess.
I was once with Prabhupada's son, Vrindavan Chandra Day. He was one of the 5 people to see Prabhupada off when he boarded the cargo ship. I asked, what were you thinking when your father was going on the ship at such an elderly age? Tears swelled in his eyes, and he said, I was proud of my father.
People at the age of 70 are thinking of retiring and slowing down and becoming rooted in with their family. But Srila Prabhupada just left everything that was known to him.
And he was willing to go through all that with this one vision, this one calling. That is, my teacher has asked me to share this with the rest of the world. My life has been transformed in ways I hadn't imagined. Let me do something about it. And that's what he did.
Not a luxury ocean liner. It was the opposite.
And he wrote about it later that that ship was like a tiny matchbox just being tossed.
The pain was so severe. I was attacked by heart attack while on the sea twice. 2 nights. And I was very much afraid whether on the 3rd night, if this night also again some pain like that, then I die.
captain of the ship was appreciating that if the Atlantic Ocean had shown its usual face, perhaps he would have died. And he had a dream that Krishna was rowing that boat. Perhaps in the most discouraging time, Krishna gave him a vision, some sign that perhaps there would be some success to his mission.
So when I was on the ship at Boston port, I was thinking that I have come here, I do not know what is the purpose. Because how the people will accept this moment. I was thinking that I will propose something which is impossible. Anyway, let me try.
The Swami was a friend of my husband's father, Mr. Agarwal, in Agra, India. And he asked me to sponsor the Swami, and that's what I did.
We didn't really think anything would come of agreeing to this proposition. I called my husband at work and I said, "Gopal, honey, sit down. We just got a letter, and that Swami is going to come to Boston in 4 days."
The Swami came with so few possessions. He came with the clothes he had on his back, he had a typewriter, and he had his books, and he had a bag of cereal. Imagine coming to a country on the other side of the world with so little.
For his first night in America, he slept on the couch. Next morning, the children came downstairs, and they were in shock, looking at this scary man with orange cloths on him. He loved the children. He played with them, and I could see it was a true love for them, not just fake stuff. Kamla, the older kid, she called him Swami Jesus because we call him Swamiji. We thought that was so funny. He was a lot of fun, too. He would go shopping with me at the supermarket. He loved walking through the aisles. And of course, the people stared at him. Every day at 9 o'clock, he would begin to prepare his lunch. It only took me one time to realize that we would like that lunch too. So the kind man he prepared our lunch every single day.
Although it was a small county, I was very much in Gladden. There were so many churches, and I spoke in many of the churches there.
Lord Jesus Christ, He is the best Son of God. We have all respect for Him. Yes. It does not matter in which country and which atmosphere you are preaching.
Jesus Christ is the devotee. So one has to associate with the devotee before realizing God. But it is not that God has got only one devotee. If God is unlimited, He has unlimited devotee love.
He stayed with us for a month in Butler, and I learned, over the time, I learned to love him as I would a father-in-law. I enjoyed my association for that 1 month with him about as much as I've enjoyed anything in my life.
I was just so sad to see him go. See, his Swami, he gave him the job, he told me, of taking the holy book, the Bhagavad Gita, something, I can't pronounce it, translate it into English for the English-speaking world. He was going to New York. It was going to be winter. It was going to, cold weather was blowing already. And I thought, oh, that man, he doesn't have a coat. Nothing to protect him from the weather. He was going on an overnight bus. I'd be scared to go to New York myself. I remember I just could hardly say goodbye to the man. I felt so bad, I cried.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
This is definitely
So Hare Krishna, everyone. Many thanks, Hare Krishna Mataji and Pundarika Prabhu. That was a beautiful presentation of Bhagavad Gita and how Prabhupada, struggled for all of us. You gave us a nice reading from Lilamrit. We had a nice Guru Puja and then a nice movie to see. The struggles that he went through. So thank you so much. You really made our day. Many of us won't know that Prabhuji and Mataji has a very long relationship with Stoke. They said, they were here in 1980 for radiology. But when it came to preaching, they were the first speaker in our first ever preaching program in Stoke. That was in sometimes 2003, I believe. Yeah. We landed up here in the Stoke, and we wanted to do a program here. We hired a little hall in New Vic Theatre, and we did so many leaflet distributions around the area. And only one person came. There was a refugee from Iraq. And Prabhuji and Mataji so enthusiastically gave the class. Maybe he's gone back to Iraq and preaching there now. I don't know. He told about the Harinam, once we hear the Harinam, we are initiated. So you never know what happens. That, wandering soul came that day, for the program. So they were the first, preacher in Stoke. And now after about 20 years, we have a temple in Stoke. And now today they are here. We don't know what's going to happen in next 20 years. Palace of the Soul. So please give a round of Prabhuji and Mataji a big Haribol for enlightening us today. Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. Thank you so much, Prabhuji and Mataji. We look forward to you again. Prabhuji just told me that this is the first class after a long time. You kind of.
We might get into trouble because we've been told nothing
Yeah. Hare. Yeah. You can just say it is a family program. Hare Krishna. So now we do a kirtan now. Everybody can stand up and we'll have a kirtan now. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyatya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gauda Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gauda Hari Bol. Nitai Gauda Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gauda Hari Bol. Shri Ram Sankirtan ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi.
Jai Vishnu Pad Paramamsa Bhaktacharya Astos Parashat Vanshila Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Koti Vaishnava Vindaki Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki Prem Se Gaur Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvait Shri Gadadhar Shri Vasta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kun Radha Kun Gir Govardhan ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Mathura Dham ki Shri Navadvip Mahapo Dham ki Shri Stoke on Trent Hare Krishna ISKCON ki Go Premanande Gangamaya Munimaya ki Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi ki Prihad Mridanga ki Sankirtan Book Distribution ki Harinam Sankirtan ki Go Premanande All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Sing Nashim Clubs. No? You want to sing? What shall I sing? Yeah. I'll sing anyway. Yeah. Namaste Narasimhaya प्रहलाद लाद दाई ने हिरण्यकशिपुर्वक्षः शिलाटङ्कानखालाये तो नरसिम्हा परतो नरसिम्हा यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिम्हा बाहे नरसिम्हा हृदये नरसिम्हा नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये न तव करकमलवरे नखाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गार दालिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव कर कमलवरे नाका अद्भुत शृंगार दालिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय विघ्न विनाशक श्री श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय प्रहलाद महाराज की जय निताय गो प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि महाप्रसादे गोविंदे नमो ब्राह्मणी वैष्णवे स्वल्प पुण्यावृतं राजन् विश्वासो निव्रजायते शरीरार विद्याजाल जड़ेन्द्रिय ताहे काल जीवे फैले विषय सागरे
तार मध्ये जीवाति लोभो माय सुदुर्मति ताके जेता कठिन संसारे कृष्ण बड़ा दया माय करी बार जीव जाय सौ प्रसादन दिलो भाई शयन नामृत पाओ राधा कृष्ण गुण गाओ प्रेमे राखो श्री चैतन्य निताय जय निमाय जय निताय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्री राधा गोकुलानंद महाप्रसादम की जय निताय गो प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. Thank you all very much. Please take prasadam upstairs on our first floor. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please make your way upstairs for the prasadam.